Hello there, Podcasting Fanaticals, and welcome to episode 11 of the How Uncivilized Podcast. This week we're discussing the handsomest rebel around. True fact, you can look it up. Called Cassian Andor, but there will be no ifs and or buts in this episode as we discuss his troubled upbringing and questionable methods. We still love him though, so sit back and enjoy.
And I'm recording.
Me too.
Here I am.
Rocking like a hurricane.
Oh, dun 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 dun. Here I am.
Bum bum bum.
Rocking like a hurricane.
Hum.
Oh yeah. Anyway, hello and welcome to I believe it's now episode 10 of series 2 of the How Uncivilized Podcast.
Spencer, you've done it again. This is episode 11.
No way.
Yep.
I swear that. Oh no, they've done it again.
It's okay.
Damn it,
wouldn't
Jerry.
be the start to an episode if you didn't forget where you were. You know, it's okay, Spencer. You know, get back in the chair. You're fine.
Oh damn! Yeah, I'm gonna sack our damn producer. He's done us in again.
Oh yeah,
I feel like your producer's better than my producer, you know, and I feel like we need to sort that out.
Oh yeah, you know, Spencer's great. I love my producer. You know, your producer sounds terrible. What's his name? Like
Charlie's useless.
Oh God, yeah, I've heard that guy's terrible. I mean, what does he even do?
He is definitely top of the redundancy list. That's
absolutely, you know,
when the cuts are coming, which they inevitably will. We're heading for a recession.
Yeah. This is a difficult year for everyone, and it looks like It's going to be a very difficult year for Charlie.
Yes, Charlie. Have you heard of universal credit?
Yes, it's something you should really check it out. I feel like it would really suit you.
Yeah. Actually, it'd probably be closer to a promotion. How much do you get paid to produce here? Yeah, zero.
I mean, are we talking money or like love? Because both would be zero, yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I've got no more love to give. I give my love left, right, and centre.
You give it to my producer, you know? I hear you two really get on well.
We certainly do.
Am I seeing an office romance developing between you and Spencer, the producer?
I don't want to say anything yet. I mean, it's early doors. Who knows what could happen?
Yeah. We'll see at the Christmas party. Am I right?
Oh, we sure will. I'm sure there'll be one too many bottles of fizz had.
Gosh.
Indeed.
Yes. A lot of bubbles in this event.
Well, I mean, you know, who knows what will occur?
Yeah.
I won't be alone on Christmas Eve, hopefully. That's the aim.
No, it won't be lonely this Christmas.
No, without you to hold.
Oh. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about?
I can't remember now. So welcome to Christmas Starts Here with Charlie and Spencer.
Yes.
Where we're going to talk about your favourite aspects of Christmas and your decorations and the baubles and the gins and the beers and especially how to stuff that one-of-a-kind turkey. Isn't that right, Charlie?
Absolutely. You know, I'm just looking at my notes here. I seem to have misspelled Christmas, though. I seem to have misspelled it Cassian. But, you know,
well, I think you should get yourself checked up.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have no idea.
Yeah. We jest, of course. We are, in fact, talking about Cassian Andor and K2SO in these episodes, which is I'm excited about.
Well, so what are we talking about? Cassian and or K2SO, or both of them?
Yeah, Cassian and
K2SO.
Yeah.
Or which one are we? Which one's it going to be?
All of the above, I think. You know,
all of the above and more.
Yeah, let's cover every possible bracket.
See, if that wasn't enough, like if you're thinking about tuning out now, which I hope you wouldn't after 11 episodes.
Also, if you're thinking of tuning out now, like, why'd you even bother starting listening? You clearly weren't invested from the beginning.
Yeah. And if you're here still, then you're clearly invested in hello.
Hello there. Hello to the real fans.
Indeed. Oh, how uncivilized. But yes, so that will be what we go through today. We've done it slightly differently, haven't we, Charlie? We've changed up the format a bit because, well, there are no questions really on either of them from either of us.
No, we discovered when we collated all of our questions about Rogue One that neither of us had really written many questions about Cassian and K2SO. Well, I say questions. I had written a lot of things about how much I love K2SO, but I feel like that wouldn't make for a good episode, just you reading out all of the things I said about K2SO. You know, I feel like it would be inappropriate for the audience we have. You know, it was borderline.
Yeah, to be fair, the
pornographic.
things you said were absolute filth.
Yeah.
Absolute filth. I mean, I don't think they're for any podcast listeners' ears at all.
I mean, I stand by my comments, but they are definitely not in keeping with the show as it currently stands.
I'll be honest, I don't even know how you'd get that in there. That's my big concern.
I mean, you got to be willing to make sacrifices in a relationship. That's all I'm going to say.
And sacrifice we must.
Sacrifice we must.
Indeed. So, well, we're going to do it a split. So obviously Charlie has decided to speak about Cassian, and he's done a load of research and background on Cassian Andor.
Oops, steady on. Let's not get them too optimistic.
He's done so much. In fact, he's written a dissertation. It's 10,000 words. You can find it online if you type no. Yeah. And so I'll be talking about K2SO afterwards. So much to chow down on today. So much to do. So much
to see. So what's wrong with taking a back seat?
Well, you'll never know if you don't go.
You'll never shine if you don't Cassian Andor.
And with that, let's begin.
So, like we say, there were no questions this week. That said, there was one big question which we have to start this off with, and that is, who is Cassian Andor? That's the most important question we're going to ask and answer, hopefully, in today's lesson, in today's podcast.
Lesson?
Yes.
Are we changing these episodes into lessons?
Thus ends the lesson.
This is lesson 11.
Yes.
Of stage 2 of our Get Your Life Back on
Key
Order program.
stage 2 of How Uncivilized.
Oh dear. We'll never make it to key stage 3, will we?
No, there's not much hope for Key Stage 3. I mean, we might have to resit Key Stage 2 a couple of times before we make it there.
We'll get there. A couple of false starts, but we'll pull through.
Yeah. I mean, you know, we won't get to Key Stage 3, but we will have to leave Key Stage 2 eventually, you know.
Eventually. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not betting it happening anytime soon, but yeah. We will get there.
We will get there. Like we will get to Cassian's backstory, because we're going to get there now.
Whoa, slow down there, Tiger.
Put the brakes on.
Whoa.
I mean, you know, can we really start talking about the topic that we're actually going to talk about before the 10-minute mark? Is that actually going to happen?
I feel like it's just really bad if we do. I feel like people are here. They come in, they tune in for the chit-chat.
Yeah,
they're all up for the goss. They don't want to know about Star Wars. In fact, I'm pretty sure 80% of the people that listen to this don't even like Star Wars. They just love our dulcet tones, and they want to tune in and hear us talk about stuffing turkeys. So
yeah,
perfect.
They don't like Star Wars. They like us. And
yeah, winner,
that's
chicken
what's
dinner.
Important.
Exactly. Yeah.
I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I don't even care about Star Wars. I make all this stuff up, and frankly, no one's going to check because everyone's just in it for us.
Exactly. So you were talking about Captain Kirk?
I'm talking about Captain Antilles. Yeah.
Ah, indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. My
Maybe
favorite
one day.
Skywalker.
Yes. Ho ho. I mean, if he wants to be, that's the only criteria.
To be fair, the only criteria to join the Skywalker family is just to say so.
Yeah. I mean, did you meet them on a long weekend? Then you're part of the family too.
Yeah. Yeah, join the crew now by signing up at www.skywalkerjointhefam.com.
Yeah.
Where you too can be part of the fam and whip out your yellow saber anytime you damn well please.
Yes, it will even come with a certificate you can hang on your wall.
Signed by us.
Okay, so there we go. That must be about 10 minutes now, I reckon.
It's near enough.
Give or take.
Give or take.
Yeah.
Sure you do. I'm sure you do.
I mean, got to go both ways.
I'm sure you do.
So, let's move on to the actual topic in hand. Cassian Andor. So Cassian Andor, when we start at the beginning, we find that Cassian Andor was born on the planet of Fest in 26 BBY. That's before Battle of Yavin. Say it every episode. Fest. F-E-S-T.
That reminds me of the word festering or to festo.
I was thinking festival. So clearly we have very different ideas about what's going on.
Your brain's a party and my brain's rotting.
Yeah, I feel like yours is closer because it was actually a cold mountainous planet located in the Atrivis sector of the Outer Rim.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so probably festering.
Probably festering. I mean, slower than normal due to the cold temperature, but, still festering.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. I am sure.
The Atrivis sector is a section of the Outer Rim that, funny enough, actually, in canon, it's quite boring. There's not much about it. But in Legends, it was the location of many, many planets. And I'm going to list a few of my favorites here. So they're lesser known planets, but places like Hethar, Numtar, Sha'ak, and of course my favorite planet, Devon.
What?
Yep. So
Devon?
Devon is apparently located in the Atrivis sector of the galaxy.
Damn.
Man,
well, I've been going
I knew the train ride
holidays.
There was long, but now that explains why. It was all the way in a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah, flipping it. To be fair, we complain about train times and delays, but actually, if you're going that far, I mean, any delay is minimal, really. I mean, if you think in terms of the length of travel, I mean, we really can't complain about our train network.
No.
All I'm saying is privatization works.
Yeah, I feel like that's the moral of the story here. In canon, however, the only thing we know about the Atrivis sector is that it's the location of the planet Fest. So that's nice. That's much more boring. It's good that canon is now way more boring than Legends, but we won't go into that.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's just what happens, isn't it?
Yes. It's also important to note that it is not to be confused with the Atravis sector, which, as we all know, is the location
of... a lovely band.
Yes, it is. It's also the location of Mustafar and its associated system.
Really?
Two very similar sounding systems, very different places.
Wow. Damn.
Yep.
Didn't know Mustafar was there. Mustafar and Fest in the same system. Nearly.
Almost. Slightly different systems. If you change the I to an A, you get from a cold mountainous planet to a boiling lava planet. That must play havoc with people looking for a cold mountainous escape for their holiday and people looking for a boiling lava planet escape for their holiday.
I mean, I'm sure that must happen all the time. Where would you rather go on holiday?
I don't know. I mean, I have gone on holidays to Scotland, so cold mountains is already my kind of holiday. So maybe Lava Planet might make a nice change.
Yeah, I mean, if it's wintry where you are, surely you want to have the the antithesis of the cold and go to Mustafar and really sort of bathe in their warm lakes, their hot bubbles.
Possibly. I mean, how about
not in the lava though? Don't bathe in the lava; you may die.
No. I mean, or I might become a badass supervillain, but it's pretty much the roll of a dice with that one. Sometimes it's burned to death, sometimes it's survived long enough to rule the Galactic Empire. But it's a role I'm willing to make.
I mean, you've got to rely on a creepy mentor to pick you up and laugh in your face when they do so.
I mean, why are you here if not to do that?
And I would laugh in your face. So
absolutely,
yes, bring it on.
Yeah. Looking good for me.
Yeah, winner, toasty dinner.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't finished these Star Wars films, but Darth Vader, he's all right in the end, I'm guessing, because he's just so tough. I'm
sure anyone dressed up in a mecha suit with a mask on, with a red lightsaber, has got to be a good guy,
Yeah, absolutely.
At least he's wearing his heart on his sleeve,
Literally, probably. I mean, who knows what's going on inside that body? Is everything still in the right place? I mean, who's to know?
It's like Operation in there. I mean, things are just flying around.
Oh, no, you set the buzzer off. Oh,
shucks.
Oh, he's gone angry. He made that noise.
Oh, he's slicing up rebellion soldiers in a hallway. That's what you get.
That's catharsis if I ever saw it.
Yes.
Yes. Wow, that was hard to say. That took a lot of effort.
I was going to say, can you say she sells seashells on the seashore? Go on, knock out a tongue twister for us, Charlie.
She sells seashells on the seashore. The seashells that she sells are seashells, I'm sure.
Oh, wow. Look at him go.
I honestly thought I wasn't going to be able to do that. Like,
I am impressed.
That makes me feel good. I feel like all this podcasting is paying off.
It definitely is paying off. Round of applause, all listeners listening.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I now realize that would involve podcasters. Unless you're like listening with someone else, you're just clapping on your own.
I mean, isn't that the essence of podcasting? Just
clapping
listening
on your own.
to a group of people talking, but on your own.
I think
it's
it is
a solitary thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know anyone who listens to podcasts as a group. I feel like it's just
I don't know if
an individual thing.
Yeah, it's definitely a personal thing. But I'm liking the thought of the idea of someone just clapping in their room on their own.
Yeah,
that sounds quite nice. Maybe we could add an applause effect in to after that, and then people feel like they're clapping along with an audience.
Yeah. Okay, so everyone listening, clap now and clap along with this audience effect.
Here we go. Here it comes.
Yay!
Congrats. Yay! Anyway.
Nice. Thank you, everyone. This was the audience participation part of the podcast.
We hope you enjoyed. For any feedback, please send it to P.O. Box 0.
Yes. I'm tempted to know where that would go now. It would probably just remain unsent. That would be boring.
Yeah, so what happens when you send off a piece of mail that doesn't actually have a correct address on? Does it just bounce and just stays in the post office for years?
I don't know. It depends how incorrect the address is. I've had mail before or I've known of mail where like you get the name of the street wrong, but because the postcode was right, it still kind of makes it to the correct place.
Yeah.
But yeah, like if the postcode's wrong, it causes all sorts of havoc, I think. When I was at university, my mum she meant to send it to someone, but had written the wrong postcode on it. So it ended up in just like post limbo for like 3 months until it turned up at my house.
What, and they worked out that was then meant to be directed to you, but it took them 3 months to do so?
I think it was because like the postcode was my postcode, but my mum hadn't actually wanted to send it to me. She wanted to send it to someone else.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just moving around. There we go.
There we go. Get comfortable. We're going to be here a long time.
I'm just digging in. I want to hear more about mail. So, what's your favorite kind of letter?
The letter C.
Ah, indeed. C. U. Next.
We're now a letters and mail podcast. Let's forget about Star Wars.
Oh, dear. Yeah, we're done now. Right. So, postage stamps. What do you think of them? What are your favourite ones? I mean, mine tend to be the Christmas ones, and they've just come out this year. I mean, you should give them a look.
Yeah,
they are fantastic. True. You get ones with robins, your Virgin Mary, baby Jesus.
One with a robin on. That's a solid way to go. A robin is such a great image, and to put it on a stamp, which you then put in a makeshift bin, that really sums up Christmas.
What more do you want? What more do you want right now?
I can't think of anything. That's all I want in this world right now is a robin stamp to put on some letter to send somewhere.
Exactly. And it doesn't even have to be anywhere. We can just send it. Like just find a random address, send it across. Yeah. Send the happiness over to someone else.
Send the happiness. Is that the slogan for the Royal Mail? I feel like it should be.
Yeah, I think send the happiness.
Send the happiness.
That is definitely when the Royal Mail becomes privatized.
I was going to
say. Send the happiness.
Virgin Royal Mail. Send the happiness.
Oh, I can't imagine it going any other way now.
Man.
Moving on from letters, as much as we love them, and the mail. Remember, this year is a great year to go send some letters to people. So just do it. Send them with a kiss, put a little Robin stamp on there. Send them across. It's going to be good.
It's a good time to say hello to people. Go out and just say hi to someone who you might not have said hi to in a long time.
Of course. At an appropriate distance.
Yeah, at an appropriate distance, of course. By letter, that'll be a very appropriate distance.
I can't imagine a more appropriate distance, unless you're handing the letter directly to them, at which I would say, that is not appropriate.
That is not appropriate. That's not how it works. There has to be a middleman to pass it between you.
Indeed. A middleman with clean hands.
Yes, with sanitized hands.
Talking of sanitized hands, Cassian Andor, I'm assuming he washes his hands from time to time.
He seems like the kind of person who would wash his hands in a pandemic, so, a reliable man. But anyway, back to his home planet of Fest. So, Fest, during the time of the Galactic Empire, was severely attacked by said Galactic Empire, and therefore actually became allied with the rebels. Officially, it was listed as a safe world for the Rebel Alliance and its affiliated members. And this would definitely have had an impact on Cassian growing up on a planet which was strongly associated with the rebellion. Or so I would have thought.
Oh, it's a little tense. Because I was going to say, before you continue, I was going to say, usually these people, they grow up on war-torn planets and then they join the rebellion. And that seems to be the stereotypical backstory for any of these rebels, is that their world has been inflicted by so much pain and they want to basically change that and do good. But I sense you're going to tell me something different.
Yes, so Cassian's backstory, instead of it being the grew up on a war-torn planet, which, became allied with the Rebel Alliance, it's similar but a little bit different to that. It was actually way darker than I was preparing myself for. So strap in, because things are going to get dark.
Here we go.
To give him some more broad details, his full name was Cassian Andor. But as with Jin, he also had several aliases that he went by, including Willix, Ach, Jorath, Sward, and Fulcrum. And this last one is notable because it was actually a title used by several rebel informants and was initially proposed by Ahsoka Tano herself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's quite interesting. So he was called Fulcrum because of Ahsoka Tano's want to call rebel informants Fulcrum, or...
So essentially, Fulcrum was a nickname she made up for rebel informants, and she used the name herself, but it was also a name used or given to people who were trusted rebel informants, including Cassian Andor when he started working for the rebellion.
Right.
Cassian's childhood was rough, to put it in mild terms. And I'm going to quote here from the man himself, because he even says in Rogue One, "I've been in this fight since I was 6 years old. You're not the only one who lost everything. Some of us just decided to do something about it."
Yeah, that really did make me think that he does have quite a harsh backstory. That one line, even in the film, you just think, God, this guy's had it rough.
Yes. So how rough did he have it? Well, he was actually a child soldier, and he joined a insurrectionist cell backed by the Confederacy of Independent Systems, so in terms we understand, the Separatists.
Yes,
and so
yes.
In the Clone War, he was actually fighting against the Galactic Republic. And the thing is, he was a child at the time, so I'm not sure whether this was willing or whether he was forced into it, but either way, it's a very dark upbringing of he was literally conscripted as a child soldier. And
that is insane.
That's rough going.
Yeah. And you think, obviously children have no way of consenting to any of this, so that is really wrong.
No. Yeah, so even if he was up for it, to put it in a bad way...
All right, flipping out.
It's still, he was child soldier, and that is terrible.
Yeah, it's awful, it's awful.
Genuinely awful. Taking advantage of young, impressionable people. That's awful.
I concur.
Yes, so if that wasn't bad enough... His mother died when he was very young, and his father was actually killed protesting against the military expansion of the Republic at Cardia Academy. His father died actually protesting against the Galactic Republic.
Wait, so he died fighting against... So when they're voting in the Senate to have a grand army of the Republic?
Yes.
So he was protesting against that, basically?
He was protesting against that, and he was killed in this protest because it was a protest which became violent. All those violent protesters.
Was he killed by other protesters then, or by...
No, he was killed
police,
by Republic forces.
Wow.
In this protest. So one thing I found about this was it really showed that there definitely was a darker side to the Republic, which we haven't really... I mean, we saw it a bit in the prequels, but there was definitely an even darker side to the Republic that we've yet to see in
definitely.
detail.
But don't forget that the Republic was being led by Sheev Palpatine at this time. So, you got to think about his influence on policy and his influence
Why?
on
What was wrong with him?
Well, I mean, I found him a little fishy,
Yeah.
It was one of those guys. I mean, it's clear. It is clear, for me anyway, that the election was rigged. I
mean, possibly. I mean, there's really no way to prove it.
He should have won by a lot more.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, it's clear to me
how many votes there were going the other way. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it was suspicious.
Yeah.
I mean, pollsters predicted, a landslide for the other candidate, Bail Antilles of Alderaan.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it didn't happen that way. And here we are, stuck with Sheev Palpatine. It's crazy.
Absolutely.
Crazy.
I mean, one for the history books, I guess. I mean, we'll still be talking about that in a long time from now,
Oh, I'd say so.
Yeah. Maybe far, far in the future, in the galaxy far, far away, there'll just be two random guys talking about this in separate bedrooms.
Yeah.
I mean, who's to say?
Who is to say? I mean, I've always found it weird that they're called Supreme Chancellor.
Yes, that's always very fishy.
Yeah, but then that implies that there are other chancellors. But I haven't seen any other chancellors.
No.
I mean, there are vice chancellors.
Yeah, there's vice chancellors.
But that they're already sort of separated by their own name as vice chancellor. So why supreme, Makes you think that there was, as you say, there was already an evil element within the system itself. The system is broken. We need to drain the swamp of all these horrible politicians.
There's only one supreme I want in my life, and that's Diana Ross.
Oh, you're damn straight. Look at him, straight off the bat, hitting us up with a Supremes reference.
Had to be done. There's always got to be one obscure reference in these to things you wouldn't think would come up in a Star Wars podcast.
They're brain teasers. Keep you on your toes. You can look it up and you can follow the line of inquiry. One of my favorite things is looking on Wikipedia at someone and then just following from there. You find someone else, you look at them, and then someone else is mentioned on the next bit and you follow them.
Yeah, it's kind of like the 7 degrees of separation thing of you're connected to everyone in the world by 7 people essentially. So say I want to think I want to meet Robert Downey Jr. Well, I know someone, say, who's met so-and-so, they've met so-and-so, and then that person has worked with another person, and then that person worked with Robert Downey Jr. It's that thing of you're only 7 stages away from literally anyone in the world.
Yeah, I really like that theory, but also with that in mind, it does make you think about how quickly anything can be sort of messaged between people. Information can be passed. It's crazy to think. Yeah.
That's why conspiracy theories would never work, because you can't keep a secret amongst 5 people, let alone thousands of people.
No, exactly. It would come out somewhere. There'd be an informant, a whistleblower who'd be willing to give up the information, I feel.
I mean, if I was part of a grand conspiracy theory, I would definitely tell all of my friends. And that's probably why I'm not involved in a grand conspiracy theory, because I would not be able to keep the secret for 5 minutes.
I'm getting that. You are a bit of a chatterbox.
I mean, hence a podcast.
Yeah, you can channel it all in here. I didn't
start this because I'm a quiet individual.
We can fill all your bullshit into this hour podcast, It's great.
Absolutely. Back to the subject in hand. We were talking about Carida Academy. I think I pronounced it differently every time I've said it in this
it doesn't
podcast.
matter. Corrida, Pina Colada, and Shabaya.
Yeah,
Who cares?
Caught in the Rain. Yeah. But interestingly enough, that place is the academy where Han Solo would complete his training before being shipped off with the Galactic Infantry to fight in his wars when he was in the film Solo.
Oh, yeah. I forget he was part of that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Completely forgotten.
That's how the film started, and we completely forgot.
Yeah, I'd completely forgotten that film even existed. That's crazy. Might watch it tonight.
Yeah, go for it. I quite enjoy it. Like, it's not the best Star Wars film, but on the bright side, it's not the worst either. So that's a good place to be.
You take the rough with the smooth. Or the rough with the rough, as we said.
Yes, absolutely. So back to Cassian's tale. We now have, interestingly enough, a significant gap in his history. So we know he was a child soldier for the Separatists, but next we see him, he's a grown man fighting for the rebellion. So there's a really significant gap there, which needs to be filled in. Say, for example, if we only had some kind of TV show in the works that could possibly fill in the backstory for this character for us.
Well, I wouldn't count on it.
I mean, if only.
If only, I mean, let's hope. Let's just hope.
Yeah.
Rebellions are built on hope, and that's all we can give them.
Absolutely.
So here we go.
So, wait, what's this? I'm looking now that apparently there is a Cassian Andor series in the works.
Breaking news, guys. Hold the horses.
Here at How Uncivilized, we bring you breaking news that something which has been in the works for years now is still happening. Yay.
Just stop it, Charlie. Stop it. I mean, all this action is just getting me going. I'm getting too excited. We need to just calm this down. This is like a, listen before bed kind of podcast.
Yeah, we need to calm people down, not rile them up.
So anyway, tell us about Cassian. Come on, man. Let's go. Cassian. What's he doing? What's he doing?
So
tell us.
I'm gonna take a moment now to actually speculate a little bit about what could this Cassian Andor series possibly be about. Like, what can we expect from this series?
Oh, actually, yeah. I want to hear your speculative thoughts.
So we've got an official synopsis for the series, which I'll just read now. That says, this rousing spy thriller will explore tales filled with espionage and daring missions to restore hope to a galaxy in the grip of a ruthless empire. So it's going to be a spy thriller, essentially, which I think is pretty cool.
Ooh, sexpionage. I like it.
Yes, very nice. And I think a spy thriller is the perfect place to continue this kind of morally grey world that we saw in Rogue One, and even possibly go darker with it. Because with this series, one thing we do know is that they've lined up a director who has been involved with shows like Black Mirror to be involved with it. So we might even get Black Mirror vibes from it. I mean, not exactly. It will be Star Wars. It will be its different thing, but a good indicator of what it will be like is
hopefully
think of Black Mirror,
break
that
the mold
kind of
a bit.
tone.
Yeah.
Hopefully, yes.
That'll make it very interesting.
When I think about it, I am imagining it could be the story of Cassian as a child soldier. I mean, starting with him at a very young age. I don't think they will do this, but maybe in flashbacks or something, you really get to know this character who grew up as a child soldier and kind of what influence that has on the rest of his life. And so while he will by no means be a supporter of the Empire, it would be interesting to see him as someone who possibly hates both the Republic and the Separatists. Also, that'll be very timely at the moment when you think of all the anti-establishment stuff going on. It'll be interesting to have this anti-establishment figurehead leading this series, and the series will be about how do you convince someone who hates the entire galaxy, really, to join something like the Rebellion, which is all about hope and building a better future. So that could be really interesting.
Well, exactly. And it kind of mirrors Jin's journey as well, because she was kind of like that as well, not really quite committed to either side or anything. And really, was a bit disillusioned with it all. And obviously, but with that in mind, if that's the case, then I'm kind of surprised Cassian didn't sort of, well, I suppose he did connect with Jin quite a lot, actually. So,
yeah.
No, that's quite good, actually. That'd be quite interesting to see. I'm sure we will touch on his childhood in that. I'm sure we'll see that because I think that'd be really important. But yeah, no, I'd be really, really interested to see him again. I assume it would be played by the same actor.
Yeah, same actor is in line. It's even got Alan Tudyk. Is that the right way to pronounce it? The guy who plays K2SO. He's in the line.
K2SO is coming back. Brilliant.
Yes,
this is great
he'll
news.
Be reappearing. But it's also got, there's a couple of actors who, they're kind of people who you know their faces, but the most significant actor I've seen paired with it is Stellan Skarsgård.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's in the pipeline as well.
No way. That would be a really cool actor to bring on board.
Yeah. So, like I say, we don't know much about it, but the idea of going down a really kind of darker route with like the spy thriller aspect of it seems like a really good way to go for the series and to continue or to expand Cassian's story.
Well, definitely.
There's always the thing of it being a prequel, we know he'll survive, but I'm kind of interested to see what ways they could possibly undermine that. Like, one thing I was thinking was that because K2SO is a droid, it would be interesting if, for example, you could destroy K2SO's body in the series and you think he's died, but they can save his like memory somehow. That's always a good route to go down. Or maybe not.
Definitely. I mean, I think the route they'll go down is just by, if there's going to be any death, it's going to be characters that they can introduce in the series, build up, and then kill. So, I mean, I reckon there'll be enough
kind of like Rogue One.
In there. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Perfect.
Yes. So back to what we actually do know about Cassian. So back to where we join up again with his history that we do know. He was recruited into the rebellion by General Davitz Draven, who actually appears in Rogue One.
That he does, yeah.
He is the guy, for those who can't remember, who breaks Jyn Erso out of prison, or is responsible for breaking her out of prison. And we're not entirely sure why he recruits Cassian. I feel like that'll be something we find out in a Cassian series. But it seems that he wanted Cassian due to his connections with the criminal underworld. Again, probably something we'll find out more about, but I frankly look forward to it.
Definitely, I can't wait. I assume it's the idea that the rebellion got to a point where it was like, you know, we've got to go to the same level as the Imperials, fight fire with fire, you know, get involved in some dirty dealings to be able to win the day eventually. And I think that, you say, we'll get to see a lot of that in this Cassian series.
Yeah, a lot of desperate people doing dirty deeds.
You know, it proves again the point that nothing is entirely good or nothing is entirely bad per se, even though they do try and paint that aggressively in the films. I think these series are a chance for us to see that actually, we obviously saw that in Rogue One as well, that the rebellion has really corrupt morals.
See how dirty the galaxy really is.
Yeah, I love it.
Yes, dirty. Oh. So Cassian, for the rebellion, he served as a captain in the rebellion's intelligence branch. And this was due to the fact that he was a veteran spy at this point. He had connections all across the galaxy. And him being a spy was the reason why, at the beginning, I could list so many of his alias names, because those were all of the names that he went by during his spying days.
Very nice.
The most significant mission we know of thus far was to this place called Wekako, or something like that. And there he met a certain KX series security droid who would go on to be the best part of Rogue One. But I mean, I don't want to step too much on your toes there, because I know you're going to talk about all K2SO's history and stuff in your upcoming episode.
I certainly will be.
I'll leave that to you.
Thank you, my good man.
We jump ahead now to the early events of Rogue One, where we actually see Cassian on the Ring of Catherine meeting an informant from Saw Gerrera's partisans, the famous doo-wop group from Jeddah.
Doo-wop.
Yep. And this informant tells Cassian about the Death Star, and before they can be captured, Cassian just shoots the informant in the back like a dick.
He's so grim. Oh, my arm. I can't possibly climb the wall. That's okay. Just shh. Now look over there. What do you see?
Tell us about the rabbits.
I like beans, Stuart. Anyway,
Yeah. So this actually ties into one of your questions, which you had, which I thought I'd answer at this point. This was your question, which not necessarily about Cassian Andor, but I thought it ties quite well in. But it was, who is this chubby rebel informant? And firstly, he's not even that chubby, you ass. I mean,
he's got a little bit of baby face on him.
He's round-faced at least, but he's hurt his arm, so maybe he's taking a step back from his workout routine. Yeah, but even if he isn't, don't be so rude, Spencer. That's horrible.
Oh, no, I am sorry. I love all things Star Wars, even the chubby bits.
Yeah. Yes, we love Jabba here at How Uncivilized.
We certainly do. Do you know what I love about Jabba the most?
What?
It's that little alien that sits on what would be his bum.
Oh, yeah. I like that guy, too. He's a nice little guy.
Yeah, the bum alien
he makes
that
me
cackles.
Chuckle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like a weird kind of... Yeah. That's a great impression. He's got a beak, though. You. That's what I don't get. It's like a chicken humanoid beak thing. But yeah, so we love everything with a bit of something on the side, when you see that informant, you just think, look at that wagon he's dragging, he's quite the
But interestingly enough, to bring it back to the 7 degrees of separation thing, my mum actually saw the actor Daniel Mays in London a few years ago, which is pretty cool. So that means technically I'm only 2 away from
Chubby Rebel Luna. Informant 1.
Yeah. And, that would mean I'm only 3 away from
Felicity
Jones. There we go.
Yeah,
that means I'm only 3 away from Felicity Jones.
No way. And that means you're probably also 3 away from Admiral Raddus.
Yes, that makes sense too.
Perfect.
Ah, beautiful.
How could you resist a bit of Raddus in the morning?
I love a bit of Raddus in the morning.
Another chubby rebel who we love.
You look radish in this evening.
Oh, why so blue? Do you need a hug?
Ah, man. A hug from Raddus. That's all we need.
Oh, dear. Hug from an admiral goes a long way.
Yeah. A few more admiral hugs and the world would be a much better place.
Do you know what? I would definitely rather get a hug from Admiral Raddus than I would Admiral Akbar. Admiral Akbar looks way more hard. He looks really hard, really solid. I feel like hugging him would be like hugging I don't know, a really big Barbie doll. Just really uncomfortable.
Porcelain doll.
Yeah, just not comfy at all.
No.
Whereas I feel like hugging Raddus,
he's a bit more squishy, there's a bit more to squeeze.
Yeah, you can really hold on to him really a bit more.
Yeah, hold on tight. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
Oh my. Do you like it blue?
Back to your question, who was this perfectly proportioned gent? Well, he was called Tivik, Tivik.
Tivik.
And Tivik, yes. That's his name. Don't wear it out.
No, I certainly won't. Neither does anyone else in that film.
I mean, no, he's done and dusted. Bet that was an easy day's filming.
Yeah, I imagine it was. Also done and dusted like that cake he ate. No.
Wow.
I'm only joking. I'm only having him on. He looks fabulous. I definitely would.
Absolutely.
I mean, who wouldn't want Danny Mays?
I mean, I want him.
Yeah, I definitely want him.
I don't know what for yet, but, if I had him, I could work that out later.
It doesn't exactly cross that bridge when you get there,
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I just went into a little daydream world then, but I'm back. So
I pulled you out of Danny Mays.
Yes, thank you. So Tivik was the go-between man for Cassian and the rebellion and the partisans. So Tivik actually worked for the partisans, if that makes sense. I said a lot of ands in that sentence.
No way, so he worked for Saw Gerrera?
Yeah, and so he was the connection between Saw Gerrera and the rebels. So Saw Gerrera spoke to Tivik, Tivik spoke to Cassian and the rebellion.
No way, and then the dude just murders him.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
At the beginning of the film, the information he brings to Cassian is the fact that they have captured this rebel informant who turns out to be Bodhi, and he also has information about the Death Star.
Wow.
Even though he gets killed off pretty quickly, he's a very important character because he sparks off all these chains of events.
Yeah, also, like, to be a messenger of that kind, it's a pretty high up role, that, you know, bringing information between the rebellion and the partisans.
Yeah, yeah.
Also quite dangerous, so why give it to a cripple?
Well, you see, he was a somewhat nervous fellow, but that shy nature actually allowed him to be very good at avoiding suspicion.
Ah, so he kind of blended into the crowd a bit.
Yeah, yeah. Also, apparently notable enough for it to be mentioned on the very brief Wikipedia page about him.
Give it to me.
Is that apparently his breath had the notable scent of cinnamon, which that's nice.
For all those cinnamon rolls he was woofing down.
I was going to say, maybe if he laid off the cinnamon rolls, he wouldn't be so chubby.
Charlie, that's really inappropriate. I know.
I'm sorry.
He is perfectly respectable. You know, we all like the odd cinnamon roll. You know, I'm guilty of that.
I mean, we've got to pay our respects because this poor man was just brutally killed by Cassian in spite of him being an extremely useful source of information for the rebels.
Exactly. He's an extremely useful, you know, sourcer and locator of cakes.
Yeah.
And that is an important role.
There's one over there.
Just comes back to the partisans. Hey, so I've got the information. Fancy a Danish?
Fancy a Danish? I hear Mads Mikkelsen is in this movie.
I'll take a bite out of his crust. That is some tasty pastry.
Yes, a solid Danish. Yeah, so in spite of his premature death in the film, this action by Cassian of killing him, actually, it was a really good point in the film because it highlighted his morally grey nature and the lengths he was willing to go to for the rebellion.
I mean, if you're going about your business killing cake makers, then I do kind of worry. It's not really by the book, but I mean, what is anymore?
No.
What is anymore? I mean, he is, as you say, morally grey.
What is a book?
What is the book? I don't know. Yeah. He's probably eaten it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
This morally grey nature, this nature of Cassian's, he was one who was completely dedicated to the rebellion, and he would use the rebellion to, in fact, justify every decision he makes in spite of how bad it is. And it seems that if he tells himself, oh, it's all for the cause, it's all for the rebellion, that's apparently what helps him sleep at night. And even when this is pointed out by Jin, you know, he becomes angry because it's accurate. You know, when people are angry, it's because it's true. And exactly. He said the quote that I said earlier about him saying, I've been in this fight such a long time. And it was almost as if by this point he doesn't know how else to live. He's just been a rebel for so long. It's the only thing he knows how to do.
Yeah, it's really sad and a sign of a man scarred. I mean, he can't think like an ordinary person does. He can only think in terms of, you know, finishing a job or doing what's best in his mind for the rebellion. Not actually what's best, full stop. Which in the end he has to sort of fight with towards the finale of Rogue One. Yeah,
but this confrontation with Jin, I think, actually helps him decide that he wants to help her, you know, to go to Scarif to get the Death Star plans, because I felt like at this point he was tired of doing morally grey acts, and he wanted to be remembered, you know, on this mission, which was essentially a suicide mission, as dying doing something which was objectively a good thing to do And he felt it would almost overshadow all of his previous misdeeds for the rebellion if he did this one good thing to go out on.
Well, I think the film should have been called Cassian Andor, Rebel Redemption.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Rogue Cassian.
Rogue Cassian.
Yeah.
Rogue Cassian, Rebel Redemption.
Apparently, another notable aspect of his character was the fact that he was incredibly attractive. And that's not me talking, although I do agree. It's actually, again, from the Wikipedia page, which describes him as a man with striking good looks. Ooh. And apparently, he would use this handsomeness to lure in the unexpected whilst he worked as a spy.
Now, what counts as the unexpected? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. You're just walking down the street and suddenly you're like, my goodness, that's a very attractive man.
Just suddenly, like, animals just start magnetically connecting to him, just pulling towards him. I mean,
clearly his handsomeness worked a treat because he was described by General Draven himself as one of the most capable agents within the rebel intelligence. So clearly he's been working his magic on Draven.
Yeah, so when we actually find out how Draven recruited him...
Yeah, we might find it's not nearly as heroic as one might think.
Literally fell on his sword.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Gosh. So... the last thing I'm going to talk about with Cassian, one final thing I'm going to talk about is a question you asked. Actually, no, this was a question I asked. Sorry, I forget myself. That's the thing. We're switching things up today because I'm going to answer one of my own questions, which is...
Wait, hold on. Before you do that, I feel like I need to confer with my producer for this.
Okay, go for it.
This hasn't, this isn't in the contract.
Okay, go for it.
Okay. Hold on. Yeah, so he says you can't do that unless I ask the question.
Okay, I'm sorry. You broke up then. I didn't quite hear what you said. I'm just going to plow ahead and assume you're okay with it.
Damn these Wi-Fi connections.
I know, it's terrible. I mean, what? What did you say? I didn't get that.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah.
One of the questions I asked was, K2SO mentions that Cassian's weapon was in the sniper configuration. Do they have modular guns in Star Wars? So this was a question I had about Rogue One. And actually, I was more on the money than I could possibly know.
Oh, do tell.
Cassian Andor carries a Blastech A280 CFE blaster. And as I guessed, this weapon was in fact modular and could be reconfigured into an assault rifle or a sniper rifle.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you want, though. You don't want to be carrying around all types of gun. You want a gun for every occasion.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you want a gun for a wedding, a bar mitzvah. You want a gun for a funeral. You want a gun when you want to go out shopping, and a gun for a night out with the lads. Having a few pints. I'd probably take
to suit all your needs.
Well, exactly. I'd say definitely for a night out with the lads, you'd want a sniper.
Yeah, absolutely.
Want to see where the next pub is on the call.
AR-15 is the gun for you. Oh no, sorry, that's real world. Oh dear.
Save that for the.
Oh no.
Save that for the NRA advert we're doing later.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the NRA has just dropped their support of How Uncivilized. Oh
that's
no,
a shame.
We were so close to signing that multi-million-pound contract.
And you and me were running for the Senate. This is just terrible news.
Yeah. I mean, we weren't supposed to mention that, but, I guess it's out of the bag now.
I mean, I'll have to do. I reckon you and I will fill those final 2 seats.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they haven't been filled by now. It's only because they haven't found the right people. And the right people are right here.
Hello there.
Hello. Yeah, so this weapon, to bring it back to the topic in hand, the gun in hand, moreover, it was actually popular among Fulcrum agents. Do you remember I mentioned earlier about these agents for the rebellion called Fulcrum?
Yes, sir, I do, sir.
This was their signature gun due to its versatility. So, How does it work, I hear you asking? Did
Why
you
didn't
ask
they
that?
call
let's,
it...
Let's assume you
Why
did.
don't they call it the fulcrum hand job then?
I don't know. I feel like maybe there was another one called that. You know, that's the kind of name which would get snapped up quite quickly. So maybe they had to be more creative by this point.
Or maybe that was Cassian's signature move. Anyway, yeah.
Using his handsomeness.
Well, hello, General Dreyfus.
He really put the word hand in handsome.
And he really did give some.
Yes.
Oh, it's so hot in here. Let's open a window.
On that chain of thought, how does his gun work? So, I'm gonna...
Tell me more. Like how to modulate his gun.
I'm just going to quote directly from Wikipedia here, because the description of it was so in-depth, I was like, I'm not going to do a better job of this, so let's just quote directly from the Wookiee's mouth, as it were.
Oh, my.
Yes.
Okay, go on then, Charlie.
So in my best announcer voice... Wow, that's good. Are you swilling? Are you using some mouthwash or something?
Oh,
there we go.
Always clean for takeoff. Waka waka.
So in my finest announcer voice, here we go. A forward-facing barrel and housing unit with a multiple optic scope dipped over the barrel, and the battle stock slid into the back to convert the pistol into rifle mode. The added length and stability improved accuracy, while enhanced galvan patterns increased penetration and cohesion. Unfortunately, the CFE had to use low-powered electron gas, as the nature of the clip-on barrel precluded using higher-powered gases. Did you enjoy that?
Oh, that was like an M&S advert. I was literally my mouth was salivating. That was too much. It was too much.
I mean, let's hope it wasn't too much for the listeners, but we'll just see, won't we?
That, we will, sir.
This isn't just a gun. This is an M&S assault rifle. Yeah, so that brings us to a close on Cassian Andor, talking about him and his famous gun.
I really liked actually hearing about the modular guns, because I think that's a really cool aspect.
I think it's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so to sum up everything we've talked about in this episode, Cassian Andor was born on Fest, the festering mountainous planet in the Atrivis sector in 26 BBY. He was a childhood soldier for the Separatists, which was grim. He had an extended career in espionage, which we will hopefully find out more about. He brutally killed Tivik, the cinnamon-breathed informant. He was morally grey, but Jin helps him
that's terrible.
to do good again. And finally, he was a very handsome man who would use his handsomeness on unsuspecting victims. And
indeed,
I believe
the Fulcrum
that is...
hand job.
Yes, the Fulcrum hand job, yes. Infamous across the galaxy.
Oh, the handyman. The handyman.
The handyman
can. Well,
the handyman can, because he mixes it with love and makes the world feel good.
I bet he does. Oh, my word. Oh, General Dreyfus.
Yes.
Well.
So that's Cassian finished with, as it were.
Flipping out. Thanks for listening to episode 11 from our second series here at How Uncivilized. We seriously hope you have found our Cassian Andor episode informative. And if you're thinking, oh, but Charlie and Spencer, this can't be it yet, we want more. Well, you're in luck. Join us next episode where we'll be looking at Cassian's droid companion K2SO and how they came to be best buds. All that and more next week.
You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Reddit if you want to hear from us on a more regular basis. On YouTube, you can find our LEGO Star Wars playthrough, as well as every podcast episode so far. The How Uncivilized Podcast was created, produced, and edited by Charlie Cinnamon Breath Feasby and Spencer Spiced Buns Lawrence.